And that was Somewhere Only We Know by Lily Allen, which is now #1 at the charts. And back to the studios, we have Kerry Greer and James Easy in the studio from the production team of the new movie Faith. Just going to ask you a few questions. How did you attract and address your audience?
Very good question. The mise-en-scène of our film was one of the major factors which attracted and addressed the audience. You see, the location is very desolate, it's quite an isolated area. This created lots of tension, which is one of the primary conventions of a thriller film, and it does draw people in. There was also no specific landmarks or clues to a geographical location, which leads to a sense of anonymity, and therefore the audience will be attracted and addressed as they will be able to place themselves in the situation.
Yeah, I understand that. It's quite important when you're making a film.
I really like to put myself in there when I'm watching one.
Yeah.
I just like to be involved.
Connection to the characters.
The location of the psycho hospital, Bedlam, attracted and addressed the audience very well. The negative and clinical atmosphere it enveloped set the audience on edge. We used a Luna key when editing the clips from our Bedlam recreation. This created stark contrast between the black and white shade, the predominance of the set, and therefore making our actress the hotspot on screen. Our clinically insane hotspot would address the audience through direct address, creating a false sense of intimacy which would send shivers down the spine of our viewers.
I have seen a few clips from the film, and I must say that Susan Joy does make a very good character in this film.
Amazing actress. I've never really worked with someone as good as her.
I think she's definitely up for an award.
She's been nominated for a Grammy, hasn't she?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go there. Got my new dress.
Well, the character we had was very striking. Two distressed women and a dominant man. This small group of just really powerful characters allowed our audience to empathise fully and make personal connections. The small group of characters will also prohibit our audience being confused, as there is few characters to follow.
They're all very interesting characters, though, aren't they, with their own stories?
So important.
Our authorial and omniscient voice was our doctor's recording, which we had edited to go over our film clip. This powerful and vivid recording addressed our audience as they felt the doctor was warning them. Having a warning-like message from an oral source at the beginning of the thriller film Faith creates a tense atmosphere drawing in our viewers. Having the line had post-traumatic stress disorder coupled with psychosis has created, excuse my unprofessionalism, a monster. End the recording creates vivid mental images.
A monster is quite an aggressive way to describe a person, isn't it?
I know, I was called a monster once. So horrible.
Lady Gaga, eh?
The editing attracts our audience. There's a crossfade between two close-up facial shots of a female character featuring direct address. This editing transition addresses the audience as it links two ages of the character together and consolidates the knowledge of the audience.
Okay, let's have and what have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product?
From the making of the thriller film, we learned about many different technologies within the filmmaking. Firstly, we've learned how to use different kinds of camera for filming, whether it be an ordinary video camera or a DSLR.
The video cameras has much better sound quality and were much easier to hold steady for filming. This was because their microphone was considerably better than the DSLR camera, and they have a strap to hold comfortably in your hand. The DSLR camera we used was a Nikon 5100. It had a higher quality picture. This was because it had a very expensive and premium lens compared to the Sony HDR CX190E. We overcame the camera flaws by using them in conjunction with each, the Sony for sound and Nikon for picture filming.
You're very into your cameras, aren't you? You know a lot of information about them.
We had to do a lot of research.
It comes to the nature of the job, isn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Secondly, we've explored editing programs, and more specifically on Apple Macs really, because kind of the computer you want to use when editing, isn't it? Such as Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop. We were complete novices at editing, but after practicing, especially with the preliminary tasks, we used both programs efficiently and effectively to edit our finished article, Faith. Premiere Pro we found to be much better quality than Windows Movie Maker. This was because it had much better selection of transitions with a high quality finish. Photoshop was excellent for editing our film poster. It was much higher quality than other programs such as Firework, Paint. A particular aspect of it we used was to change the hue and saturation of a poster to create such stark and vivid imagery.
You sound very passionate about your work. Very passionate about your work, James.
We also learned about different aspects of filming. We used artificial lighting for the bedlam shots and natural lighting for the murder shots. The artificial lighting was much more non-naturalistic and surreal. This surrealism created a striking atmosphere and made excellent contrast and shadows. A tense atmosphere we wanted to create was achieved. The main source of artificial light was can lights and spotlights.
We also explored natural lighting outside. I mean, as you can imagine, it was quite temperamental. The day started out bright when we were filming, but British weather, classic, as it progressed, it became overcast. This wreaked havoc with our continuity, but bit of a coincidence, it fit the film perfectly, as the day became darker, the film clip did as well. This could have worked against our intentions, but it didn't.
I'm sure you planned ahead though about the lighting in the outdoor space.
Well, where we rented out the lake, we had to have that day, and the weather forecast was just so temperamental.
Did you only have one day to do your filming then?
We did.
That must have been difficult.
It was.
Kerry, what did you have to say about that?
Well, to ensure the sound was clear and pure, we had to experiment, and we discovered that background noise is one of the major aspects affecting the clarity. We filmed both in solitude and refilmed when there was background noise to ensure that it sounded professional.
That is very important that there's no interference in the
Yeah.
audience connection. Is that all for today? Is that all?
Oh yes, and thank you for having us. Been a pleasure.
Been a very good meeting you, and good luck at box office, yeah?
Have fun at the Grammys or whatever you're going to.
Yes, I've got
I'm sure you'll look lovely in your dress.
Oh, yes, I will. Now, Scouty, James Bond by Scouty for Girls, requested by John Major in London.